This committee was established under House Bill 734, and our mission is really to look at how we provide Missouri consumers and businesses with cheap and efficient energy for the next 25 years, and to provide for that transition. And some of the subjects we're going to be covering are really going to be in that vein. So we're going to be looking at alternative energies and that sort of a thing. I think we need to be examining things that come from the federal government, like the cap and trade legislation that is pending. So we will certainly be wanting to pay attention to that. I think a lot of the emphasis is going to be ensuring what has been in the past a very large advantage that Missouri has enjoyed, and that is relatively inexpensive energy costs, not only for consumers and residents, but also for businesses. And I think as we go through this process, we have to be mindful of the fact that what we do does impact the economy, that we're not acting in a vacuum, and particularly in the climate we're in at the moment, the emphasis on jobs I don't think can be overdone. So as we look at this issue and we think in terms of how Missouri will be progressing over the next 25 years, I think we need to be looking at renewables. We need to be looking at how we currently generate our electricity. We are obviously we do an awful lot. A very high percentage of our energy is produced from coal, and so we will be looking at that and the sequestration process. So that's really what our emphasis is going to be. And as we go through this, we will be hearing testimony. The anticipation is that we will only have about 2, maybe 3 meetings. It's going to kind of depend on how our schedules shake out. But our statutory mandate is to produce a report by December 31st of this year. So we will try to get as many meetings done as possible dealing with those issues, and then construct a report and have that turned in on time by the end of this calendar year. With that, I'll let Senator Schaefer go ahead and make what comments he chooses.
Thank you very much. I would like to make a few statements on my perspective of the purpose of this committee, and I agree with absolutely everything that you said, and I'd like to add to that, in the sense that I think both as a state and a nation, I think everyone knows we're at a critical point for energy supply and energy needs, and where we're going to go at this juncture with energy supply for the foreseeable future. And we have enjoyed inexpensive, safe, reliable power in the state of Missouri, and we need to keep doing that. And we need to do that in the context of the changes that we're seeing at the federal level, and also on the resource demands, the different resource demands we have. I personally see the need for this committee now more than ever after last session, where we had issues like the QIP bill, we had issues like the carbon sequestration bill. And from my personal perspective, there was a lot of misunderstanding, or maybe not misunderstanding, but not a good picture of where we are as a state and where we need to be in the long term. And I think that's indicative of the process where we get bogged down in bills year after year. And so when you're dealing with a bill in a given year, you're focusing on the immediate impact of that bill. What's this? How does this affect the Public Service Commission? How does this affect rates next year? And we never get the luxury of stepping back and saying, as we're passing these bills year after year after year, at what point do we step back and really take a long-term look, have that luxury of a long-term look? And that really is the benefit of this committee, is this gives us the luxury of a long-term evaluation and to come up with an objective baseline of where we are now and where we need to be based on the testimony we hear and the best expert testimony that we can bring before this committee, and figure out where we need to be. Because I think once we establish that baseline and have an idea of where we are and what the picture is going to look like in the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years, it's going to give us a much better ability to have intelligent discussion to move forward on the bills that we're going to face probably this coming year, the next year, the year after that. But from my perspective, it's a real luxury, but it's a necessity. It's something we absolutely have to do to guarantee that we maintain our inexpensive, safe, and reliable power in the state of Missouri. And so I think it's a real honor to be on this committee, and I appreciate everybody serving on.